I secretly dated my brother's best friend for 3 years, and no one knew about it. We agreed to make it public on his birthday. But at the party, he didn't mention a word about it. After a few drinks, he suddenly leaned in and whispered half-jokingly in my ear, "Rain, it's been 3 years. I'm bored. Why don't you marry someone else?" Hearing this, I wasn't the least bit surprised and calmly nodded, saying, "All right." In my previous life, I would have never agreed. I would have cried and insisted on marrying no one but him. My family couldn't sway me and ended up fulfilling my wish. After marriage, it was as if he had become a different person, not only indifferent and cruel to me but even in bed, it was just a routine. When I was about to give birth and was hemorrhaging, needing someone to sign for surgery, he was accompanying his white moonlight for a relaxing stroll by the sea. At that moment, my heart completely turned cold, and I realized that begged for love is simply not love at all. Given a second chance at life, I naturally no longer refused and replied with a smile, "Okay, let's break up." Seeing that I agreed without making any fuss, Lucas was momentarily stunned, thinking he must have misheard, and looked at me incredulously. He suppressed the smile on his lips and studied me seriously. "Rain, did you hear what I just said clearly?" A faint smile still hung on my face. "I heard you clearly. Didn't you just tell me to marry someone else?" I said it with full seriousness. In my past life, if I had heard him joke about our relationship like this, I would have exploded right away, making a scene and insisting that he coax me into happiness and promise never to do it again. But this time, I chose to let him have his way and also set myself free. Lucas laughed in exasperation at my expression. "Rain, what's gotten into you today?" Before I could speak, the sound of shattering glass and a waiter's apology came from nearby, followed by a tearful figure in red darting out of the private room. Hearing the commotion, everyone turned toward the source of the noise. Ryan, sitting beside Lucas, nudged him with his elbow. "Hey, doesn't that person look a lot like your ex? What, did you invite her to your birthday? She ran out crying, aren't you going after her?" With that, Lucas hastily stood up and strode purposefully toward the door. Watching his figure disappear through the doorway, I froze for only a moment before resuming my meal as if nothing had happened. When the waiter brought the fresh shrimp to the table, I didn't give the first one to Lucas as I usually did. Later, when the dishes Lucas loved arrived, I didn't serve them to his bowl either. Lucas was always busy with work and would often step out to answer calls after just a few bites. So, every time we ate together, whenever his favorite dishes were served, I'd always give him the first bite. Over time, serving him his favorite dishes at the table naturally became a habit of mine. However, every time my brother saw how attentive I was to Lucas, he couldn't help but grumble jealously. *Rain, why are you serving Lucas again? I'm your blood-related brother. Being so eager with Lucas, could it be you have feelings for him? Several times, I couldn't help but want to publicly announce our relationship. But every time, Lucas would immediately distance himself from me and stop my brother's teasing with a serious tone. "Don't say such nonsense. She's your biological sister, which naturally makes her my sister too." His words made his intentions clear. He didn't want our relationship to be public. We've been together for 3 whole years, and he kept it completely under wraps. No one around him knew we were dating. Even his social media was spotless, without a single trace of me, not even a hint of affection set to visible only to me. He was truly cautious, so cautious that he left not a single trace of our love behind. Looking back now, I realize how naive I was back then, and how deeply in love with him I had been, to willingly comply with him time and time again, hiding in the shadows away from the light. Seeing me quietly eating my food, my brother suddenly leaned in teasingly and joked, "Tisk, how can you still eat? Lucas hasn't returned for so long, aren't you afraid he'll run off with another girl?" I stuffed a piece of sauce-covered shrimp into my mouth and asked in confusion, "What does it matter to me if he runs off with another girl? Besides, that's his personal business. Even as his sworn sister, I shouldn't interfere, right?" My brother scrutinized me seriously, as if trying to detect some clue from my face. Today is Lucas's 28th birthday. We had originally agreed to officially announce our relationship tonight, but I never expected he would also invite Serena, his unrequited love. At this moment, Lucas returned with Serena. Serena had changed into a white dress, her eyes red as if she had just cried, making others involuntarily feel pity for her. Lucas held her hand, occasionally bending down to whisper something to her. Ryan excitedly whistled, "Lucas, Serena, are you two back together?" No sooner had the words been spoken than Lucas abruptly looked up at me, a flicker of panic flashing in his eyes. That trace of panic didn't escape my brother's notice, and he turned to glance at me, only to find my expression calm, as if I were merely an onlooker. "What nonsense are you talking? We're all old classmates, there's nothing wrong with showing some concern." My brother slung an arm over his shoulder and smiled meaningfully. "We're all old classmates, so how come you never come to show concern for me?" Then he raised his voice to liven up the atmosphere. "Am I right, everyone?" Lucas laughed and pushed my brother away. "Stop messing around." The whole room joined in the teasing, and Serena shyly hid in Lucas's arms. I walked over and pulled my brother away. "Bro, why are you butting into third brother and Serena's private moment? Let's go back and eat." Then I glanced at Lucas and asked, "Right, third brother?" Hearing the address third brother, Lucas furrowed his brows and gave me an ambiguous look. Later, I don't know what Serena said to him, but he got up and left with her. The moment the two left the private room, the people around immediately started gossiping. "TSK, the white moonlight truly lives up to her name. Just look at this situation, these two are 80% likely to get back together." Exactly, everyone knows how much Lucas loved Serena. Back then, he almost severed ties with his family for her. If Serena hadn't gone abroad, they'd probably have a toddler by now. Now that Serena's back, these two shouldn't separate again, right? Hearing these words, I felt a bit dazed. So they had loved each other so passionately. Only I was the fool, sneaking around with him for 3 years just because he once said he didn't want to make it public. In my previous life, after I finally married Lucas as I wished, he became a completely different person. He resented me for binding him with marriage, so even after we were married, he insisted on separate rooms. He would leave early and return late, often not coming home at all. The only reason we had a child was because his parents wanted a grandchild and kept pressuring Lucas. He reluctantly went through the motions with me to fulfill their wish. I still remember that night vividly. There was no tenderness or foreplay. I begged him through tears to be gentle and to kiss me, but he turned a deaf ear. Right after, he rushed to Serena's place and stayed there for several days without returning home. That summer, I suddenly had severe stomach pains and called him, hoping he would take me to the hospital. But as soon as he heard my voice, before I could even speak, he said he was busy and hung up. Later, I found out that when he said he was busy, he was actually shopping for clothes with Serena. When I was in labor and hemorrhaging at the hospital, I called him in tears, begging him to come. He finally snapped, as if he had reached his limit, "It's just giving birth, what's there to cry about? Why call me? I'm not a doctor. If something's wrong, just take a cab to the hospital. I'm busy. If that's all, I'm hanging up." Before I could finish, the call was abruptly ended. Panicked and in pain, I frantically tried calling back, only to find his phone turned off. At that moment, Serena sent me a barrage of messages, all filled with intimate photos of her and Lucas. The love in Lucas's eyes was impossible to ignore. Right then, my heart completely gave up. An unprecedented calm washed over me. If he didn't love me, what was the point of keeping this child? I called for an ambulance. As I waited for it to arrive, I stared at the expanding pool of red on the floor and smiled. Finally, I died due to excessive blood loss and failed rescue efforts. But even after my death, Lucas still thought it was just another trick I was playing on him. At Lucas's birthday party, after he, the guest of honor, left, everyone ate, drank, and had fun for a while before dispersing. Feeling rather bored after dinner, I just dragged my brother home with me. The whole way back, I sat quietly by the window, which made my brother glance at me a few more times. "You're off today, not glued to your phone, not chatting with your girlfriends?" I was slightly taken aback. Indeed, I used to be always on my phone, talking to Lucas about everything, as if there was an endless stream of things to say. If my brother questioned me, I'd say it was my girlfriend's. Sitting so quietly by the window now did feel unusual. I smiled and said, "We had a little argument the other day, and I was just thinking about how to apologize to her." My brother didn't say anything. I don't know if he believed me or not. Unable to sleep in the early hours, I scrolled through my phone and noticed Lucas, who rarely posts, had suddenly updated. There was no caption, just a photo showing Lucas carrying Serena on his back while she held an umbrella for him, a picture-perfect scene of peaceful days. The post had only been up for a minute, but it already had many likes and comments. "Wow, that's so sweet. Wishing you happiness. Congratulations. May you live happily together for 100 years and have children soon." As I was exiting, I accidentally liked the post due to a slip of my finger. By the time I refreshed the page, the photo was already gone. Then, I received a message from Serena. When Lucas was walking me home, it suddenly started raining. Since it was late at night, I was worried about him going back alone, so I had him stay overnight at my place. "You wouldn't mind, right?" Her words were filled with subtle testing. If it were me from my past life, I would have already called Lucas and made a scene with him. But in this life, I've decided to let him go. Lucas can be with whomever he wants, stay overnight wherever he pleases. None of it has anything to do with me anymore. Okay. Just as I finished replying to her and was about to go to sleep, I received another message from Lucas. "Serena just returned to the country, and she has a dinner party to attend in a couple of days but doesn't have time to prepare a gown. Didn't you just receive a new gown a few days ago? Let her borrow it for the occasion." When I saw his message, I felt my blood boil, and I was instantly furious. Just listen to what he's saying. Is this even human language? It's a gown I bought myself, one I haven't even worn yet, and now he wants me to lend it to his sweetheart. Besides, formal gowns are typically only worn once. After being worn, they're practically useless. Fuming, I pretended not to see the message and didn't reply. To my surprise, early the next morning, he showed up at my door with Serena in tow. Before 10 a.m., Lucas was already ringing my doorbell. It was my mom who opened the door. Since it was a rare holiday, both my brother and I were still lazing in bed. Seeing Lucas and Serena standing at the doorway with arms full of gifts, my mom immediately told the housekeeper to wake my brother and me up. Except for me, everyone in my family was happy to see Lucas, especially my dad and mom. Our families used to be neighbors, and our parents were close. During holidays, we often got together, and my parents had treated Lucas like their own son since childhood. Lucas gave me a deep look as I came downstairs. My mom, finding Serena familiar, smiled warmly at her and said, "You must be Lucas's girlfriend from back then, right? It's been so long, you've gotten even more beautiful. I almost didn't recognize you just now." "Thank you, Auntie. It has been quite a few years. You're still as youthful and lovely as ever." I had to admit, Serena really had a way with people. In no time, she had my parents grinning from ear to ear. "Rain, why are you so slow? Hurry up and come say hello to your brother Lucas and sister Serena." I obediently walked up to Lucas and Serena. "Third brother, sister Serena, hello." Hearing me call him third brother, Lucas frowned. When I went into the kitchen to find something to eat, Lucas sent me a message. "What are you playing at?" I pouted and left it on read, taking a cake from the fridge to eat. We were having lunch, and when everyone sat down, Lucas instinctively took the seat next to me. This meant my brother had to sit beside Serena. What kind of mess was this? My brother, noticing the awkward situation, widened his eyes. "Lucas, why are you stealing my spot? Hurry up and sit next to your girlfriend," he said, pulling Lucas up from the seat beside me. In the end, Lucas sat next to Serena, diagonally across from me. As soon as he sat down, I could feel his gaze on me, but I ignored it and quietly focused on my meal. Midway through the meal, his phone rang. He excused himself and stepped out to take the call. As soon as he left the dining table, the nanny brought out Lucas's favorite spicy chicken. When I reflexively moved to place the first piece into Lucas's bowl, I suddenly changed course and gave it to my brother instead. He looked at me in pleasant surprise and hurriedly stuffed the piece of spicy chicken into his mouth, as if afraid I might regret my decision. Lucas returned after taking the call and, upon seeing his empty bowl, seemed almost disbelieving before turning his gaze toward me. My brother noticed and, despite having initially been eager to show off to Lucas, immediately dropped the idea at seeing Lucas's troubled expression. He even came to my rescue. "We're all family here, no one's competing with you. Help yourself to whatever you want, and don't give Rain a hard time." It was only then that my parents realized I hadn't served Lucas this time, but they didn't dwell on it. After all, Lucas now had a girlfriend. Thinking of this, my mom looked at me, then at Lucas. Her intentions were crystal clear. Soon enough, she spoke up, "Rain, look, your brother Lucas has already brought his girlfriend home. When are you going to bring a boyfriend back for your dad and me to meet?" I knew exactly why she said that. My mom had long wanted to set me up with someone. Back then, I always used Lucas as an excuse, saying he was older than me and still didn't have a girlfriend, so I was still young and didn't want a boyfriend yet. Seeing me use Lucas as a shield and repeatedly brush off the wealthy bachelors she picked for me, my mom eventually gave up on trying to set me up. Now that Lucas has a girlfriend, her thoughts have started to stir again. Lucas looked at me hesitantly, as if he wanted to say something. I quickly interrupted, "Mom, if you want to introduce someone to me, just go ahead. There's no need to beat around the bush." In the past, I would either play dead or outright refuse such questions. But now that they see I've softened, they immediately lit up with joy. My brother excitedly threw an arm around my shoulder, "Sis, you've finally come around. Don't worry, if you want to find someone, it'll be a piece of cake. After dinner, I'll set you up with a handsome guy." I smiled and said okay, my gaze accidentally landing on Lucas, noticing his furrowed brows and slightly unpleasant expression. While everyone was rushing to introduce me to potential boyfriends, Lucas suddenly interrupted them, "Auntie, you've misunderstood. Serena isn't my girlfriend. We're old classmates, and also friends." My whole family froze, and Serena's previously smiling face instantly stiffened. My brother glanced at the three of us and, as if trying to stir up trouble, added, "Oh, so you're still single now? How about I introduce you to Rain then?" He smiled with profound meaning. The moment those words came out, they nearly scared me to death, and I reflexively looked at Lucas. Lucas kicked my brother under the table, neither too lightly nor too heavily. "What are you saying? Rain is my sister." My heart, which had been hanging in suspense, finally settled, shattered to pieces, so to speak. I took a deep breath and playfully pinched my brother's arm with feigned annoyance. "Exactly, bro. What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Lucas is my third brother." After the meal, Lucas and Serena stayed for a while before leaving, and after that, we didn't contact each other again. During this holiday, I reached out to the friends I had distanced myself from because of Lucas and invited them out. First, I sincerely apologized to them and repeatedly promised that I wouldn't act foolishly like that again. I had to coax them for a long time before they finally forgave me. Having friends around during the holiday made it so much fun. On the last night of the break, my brother had a classmate's birthday party. Seeing that I wasn't going out, he tried every way to persuade me and insisted on dragging me along. Even though I'm familiar with the people he knows, I really didn't want to go. I was completely exhausted these past few days and just wanted to rest early tonight, since I have to get up early tomorrow and work like a beast of burden. When he realized I wouldn't budge, he played his trump card. "Tonight is a crucial moment in your third brother's life. As his sister, you absolutely have to be there to witness it. TSK, I always feel like my brother knows something, but I have no proof." Only after arriving at the party did I realize it was Serena's birthday, and she wanted to use this opportunity to get back with Lucas. One after another, many people arrived, and after showing up, everyone huddled with familiar faces to gossip. "Hey, what do you guys think? How likely is it that Serena and Lucas will get back together? Isn't that obvious?" Everyone saw how much Lucas loved Serena back then. Now that Serena's back, both are single and available. What's important is that this time Serena made the first move, so Lucas would definitely be willing to get back together. Just then, one of their classmates walked in and mentioned that he had seen Lucas at a jewelry store picking out a diamond ring a few days ago. There's a good chance it's for Serena, and maybe Lucas is planning to get back together with her too. I know all of my brother's classmates, and when they saw me there, they warmly greeted me. Upon finding out that I was still single despite having such good qualities, they started teasing and said I could pick any guy present. Since I'm already close to them because of my brother, and they treat me like a younger sister, I quickly blended right in with them. Lucas was immediately invited to sit next to Serena upon his arrival. While engaging with others around him, he occasionally glanced over here but said nothing. After everyone had been mingling for a while and before taking their seats for dinner, Serena called me outside, saying she had something to tell me. My brother only let me leave after seeing me nod in agreement. Rain, I know Lucas has been very good to you in the years I was away, and he'd probably listen to whatever you say. I organized this gathering today because I want to get back together with him. When I confess later, could you please put in a good word for me? With your help, the chances of us reuniting would be much higher. Serena's words were sweet and gentle, but her intentions were downright malicious. She must have noticed my feelings for Lucas, yet because Lucas refused to make our relationship public, I had no choice but to endure the heartache. Now that she wants to get back together with Lucas, she naturally has to remove this eyesore by making my life miserable, hoping I'll retreat in the face of difficulties. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But she'll never know that after experiencing my past life, I've completely given up on Lucas. So, upon hearing the idea of completely dumping Lucas, I smiled even more sincerely and joyfully than Serena. Alright, don't worry, I'll definitely be your best wingwoman later. You go for it. Serena had intended to irritate me, but instead found me smiling even more cheerfully than her. Somewhat frustrated, she returned to the private room. Soon, it was time to take our seats. Everyone rose and headed to their places, but my brother and I didn't move. Only when most people had settled in did my brother lead me forward. Glancing around, I saw there were only 2 seats left, both next to Lucas. Initially, I intended to take the one farthest from him, but Lucas called me over, insisting I sit beside him. Hearing this, my brother raised an eyebrow and pulled out the chair next to Lucas for me. Though I had hoped to pretend not to notice, I could only silently comply. Once the dishes were served, I quickly sensed something unusual about Lucas. He was serving me food, just as I used to do for him in the past. When the waiter brought out the shrimp, he immediately served me one. As he was about to serve me a second one, I reached out to stop him. I smiled and said to him, "Third brother, I'm already grown up. I can serve myself whatever I like to eat. Sister Serena just came back to the country, you should focus on taking care of her." The shrimp awkwardly hung in midair. Seeing this, Serena quickly held out her bowl with a cheerful smile. Exactly, Rain's all grown up now. Someone was just asking about her earlier, you don't need to fuss over her anymore. Right after she finished speaking, someone stood up to toast Serena, welcoming her back to the country and wishing her a happy birthday. Serena stood up with a smiling face, holding her glass, only to have it snatched away by Lucas, whose tone brooked no argument. Serena can't handle alcohol well. I'll drink this for her. With those words, he tilted his head back and downed it in one go. The crowd cheered at the sight, and soon the atmosphere was lively. Serena was initially delighted to see Lucas drinking on her behalf, but as she watched him down one glass after another and quickly grow tipsy, she hurriedly intervened, her expression filled with concern. "Lucas, stop drinking. You don't need to drink so much for me." Lucas didn't show any flush from the alcohol, making it impossible to tell at this point whether he was drunk or not. He looked at Serena, his eyes brimming with tenderness. "I'm fine." They knew you couldn't drink but still insisted on toasting you. Clearly, they were trying to take advantage of you. This statement brought the gathering to its climax as everyone turned their gaze towards Serena. That's when I knew Lucas was about to face the most critical moment of his life. Serena's eyes sparkled with emotion, her cheeks flushed with shyness as she parted her rosy lips slightly. Lucas, though we parted ways years ago, not a moment has passed without me thinking of you. I love you, can we get back together? As soon as she finished speaking, everyone erupted in applause and cheers. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Lucas froze, clearly not expecting the dinner to take such a turn. Everything had been progressing smoothly, the female lead had bravely confessed her love, and all that remained was for the male lead to give a simple nod. A much-anticipated romance, a match made in heaven, was about to be born. Watching the male lead, Lucas, remain silent, the perfectly built atmosphere began to take on an eerie quality. My heart sank. Quickly jumping in to help, I said, a girl as outstanding, beautiful, and devoted as Serena is a rare find. Third brother, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and say yes. The cooling atmosphere was reignited by my words, and everyone began to chant, say yes, say yes. Lucas looked at me in shock. Rain, why are you joining in the nonsense? Aren't you my girlfriend? Why are you chiming in? As soon as the words were spoken, everyone present fell silent, their eyes filled with uncontrolled astonishment. My brother was the first to snap back to reality, his face grim as he looked at Lucas before shifting his gaze to me. Rain, what did he say you are to him? Girlfriend? I was utterly shocked and sighed, never expecting Lucas to blurt it out in such circumstances. Quickly regaining my composure, I smiled nonchalantly. Bro, third bro is obviously drunk and joking around. Lucas frowned unhappily, pushed Serena aside, and walked toward me. Instinctively, I took a small step back. Just then, a sudden scream broke the silence. Ah! Lucas turned around, his eyes filled with unmistakable concern, and immediately ran over. Serena, for some reason, had collided with a rolling cake cart. The cake was ruined, and Serena lay on the ground in a disheveled state, her eyes red and tears streaming down her face. Lucas couldn't help but feel distressed. Without a second thought, he scooped Serena up from the ground. The previously pitiful Serena suddenly grinned when she met my gaze. Wrapping her arms around Lucas's neck, she put on a coy act, saying, Lucas, put me down already. Everyone's watching. You're making everyone misunderstand. Sister Rain doesn't look happy. You should put me down and go comfort her quickly. Her voice wasn't loud, but since everyone was quietly watching the two of them at that moment, it was heard clearly. She was doing it on purpose, aiming to provoke me and make everyone present aware that Lucas cared about her. As she expected, Lucas still cared for her. He didn't leave her in her sorry state, just gave me a hurried glance before leaving. Your clothes are dirty. Let me take you to change first. With that, under everyone's gaze, Lucas carried Serena away. The moment the two left, my brother pulled me aside. I know Lucas's alcohol tolerance like the back of my hand, he wasn't drunk at all. Spill it, what's really going on between you two? I had never seen him so serious before and instantly chickened out. I didn't dare confess, so I chose to keep it hidden. After all, no one even knew we had been together. I shook my head in confusion. What do you mean, what's going on? There's nothing between us. Maybe it was because Serena's move was too sudden, and then I started teasing him, so he decided to mess with me. My brother clearly didn't believe me, but seeing my innocent expression and unwillingness to elaborate, he knew pressing further wouldn't get him anywhere, so he let it go. It was too awkward, and I didn't want to go back, so I made up some excuse and slipped away. Only after getting into the taxi did I realize I shouldn't have come in the first place. It was all rather pointless. After getting out of the taxi, I strolled leisurely toward my doorstep, only to spot Lucas's car parked downstairs. I had no idea how long it had been there, so I quickly picked up my pace, trying to sneak past. I hadn't gone far when a strong force yanked me back, pulling me into his embrace. Solid, broad, and warm, had it not been for my past life, I might have melted into that comforting hold and poured out all my grievances from the night. But having lived a second life, I can no longer bear the warmth of his embrace. I pushed him away coldly. Third brother, what are you doing? If my parents see this and misunderstand, it won't be good. He froze for a moment but still let go of me. Suddenly, I realized he wasn't much different from other men, wanting everything while giving nothing. It was disgusting. He suddenly demanded, "What's gotten into you today? Why did you join in their teasing?" I took a step back to distance myself from him. "Tonight, Serena specifically asked for my help. She still can't forget you. You nearly broke ties with your family for her back then. I think your story is quite touching, and it'd be a shame to let it end. Getting back together would be nice." I was speaking from the heart, but Lucas laughed and said, "What about you? Have you forgotten your place? If you're jealous, just admit it. Why make a scene with me?" I cut him off, enunciating each word with utmost seriousness. "Lucas, we've already broken up." Seeing how serious I was and that I wasn't joking, he panicked instantly. "Who said we broke up? I don't agree." "What don't you agree with?" Before I could retort, my brother's voice suddenly rang out as he strode toward us with clear protective intent. I smiled at him. Third brother wanted to give Serena a gift but didn't know what she likes. Afraid of making her unhappy with the wrong choice, he came to ask me, joking that if I didn't help him, he wouldn't let me go home. Lucas watched as I effortlessly spun this lie, both shocked and furious. He grabbed my arm, about to say something when my brother cut him off. My brother glanced sharply at the hand Lucas had on me. "Rain and Serena aren't close. If you want to give her a gift, why not just ask her directly what she likes? Why involve our Rain?" Then he shot Lucas a look. "Or is it that you actually wanted to secretly give our Rain a gift?" Meeting my brother's gaze, Lucas instantly backed down, his grip on my wrist loosening. I didn't want to argue with him, I just wanted to get rid of him quickly. My brother is right. I'm not close to Serena. If you want to give her a gift, you should ask her directly. Third brother, you should go back now. She had a rough night and probably needs you. Lucas was furious when he saw me pushing him towards Serena. "Rain, do you even know what you're saying? And who said anything about giving her a gift?" His voice was loud from agitation. My brother, seeing me being yelled at, was instantly enraged. "What the hell, Lucas? Whether or not you give Serena a gift is your business. Why are you taking it out on Rain?" Afraid that Lucas might say something misleading, I quickly pulled my brother toward the house. "Bro, don't be angry, let's go home quickly." As soon as we got home and sat down, my phone rang. To my surprise, it was Lucas calling. Without hesitation, I hung up and muted my phone. When he couldn't reach me by phone, he sent me a message. "Rain, I think we need to talk. Sneak out later, I'll be waiting at our usual spot." His persistence was so annoying that in a fit of anger, I turned off my phone completely. I was about to go to bed after taking a shower when someone knocked on my door. "Rain, come out, someone's looking for you." Damn, so annoying. I'm already in bed, whatever it is can wait until tomorrow. "Serena is here to see you, she's already arrived." TSK, why is everyone so bothersome? I reluctantly got out of bed, and as soon as I opened the door, I saw Serena holding several gift bags. With a beaming smile, she said, "This is a gift I brought back for you from abroad. I meant to give it to you earlier, but I forgot." I took the gift, my intention to send her away clear. The smile on her face faltered. "Would it be convenient for me to come in and sit for a while?" "If I said it's not convenient, would you still not come in?" Despite my words, I let her into the bedroom. I didn't want to beat around the bush and got straight to the point. "What do you want from me?" Serena dropped the act. "Since you're being so direct, I won't mince words either. I know that in the years I was away from Lucas, he grew close to you. Now that I'm back, I haven't forgotten him, and he still has feelings for me. I hope you can keep your distance." It's quite a spectacle to see the mistress making a scene in front of the wife. I couldn't be bothered to waste words on her. "Serena, I think you've misunderstood. Lucas and I will always just be like siblings. If there's nothing else, I won't keep you. I'm going to bed. We were never close to begin with, and now she's trying to intimidate me? She must be seriously delusional." Serena's punch landed on Cotton, instantly sending her into a rage. "Don't think I don't know, If it weren't for you, Lucas and I would have gotten back together tonight. Stop pretending. I've long seen through the relationship between you and Lucas. TSK, who's the one pretending here? I looked at her coldly and enunciated each word. Let me say it again, Lucas and I will only ever be like siblings in this lifetime. If you insist on seeing me as your imaginary rival, there's nothing I can do. But I suggest you pursue what you like bravely instead of wasting time on an outsider like me. Serena could tell I wasn't lying, so she didn't press further. She left the gift and walked away. Having won the argument with Serena, I thought I'd sleep soundly that night, but I didn't. I dreamed of my past life, after Lucas and I got married, when Serena once asked to meet me. Knowing she had feelings for Lucas, I assumed she wanted to vent her frustration over him choosing me instead. To my surprise, she was unusually calm when we met. After sitting down across from me, she began recounting her history with Lucas, how they met, how he had fought with his family for her, even showing me their chat logs. Even after their breakup, when Serena went abroad, they remained in close contact. It was as if their separation had been just words, they were still together, merely living in different places. She watched as the light in my eyes gradually dimmed, looking quite pleased with herself. Even if he ends up marrying you, so what? The one he loves is me. He's marrying you out of a sense of duty, he doesn't love you. You won't be happy with him. Back then, I was naive and romantic, thinking that marriage meant forever, that he would eventually come back to me. Little did I know Serena's words would come true, I really wouldn't be happy with him. I slept very restlessly that night, waking up before dawn. Maybe I was too exhausted, because I fell back asleep soon after. During lunch, my brother suddenly said to me, "Rain, didn't you say last time you wanted to find someone?" Coincidentally, a friend of mine just came back from abroad. He's a great guy, and most importantly, tall and handsome. I'm sure you'd like him. Anyone my brother approves of must be decent, so I immediately perked up and agreed without hesitation. As the saying goes, out with the old, in with the new, and I didn't want to stay stuck in the same place forever. Life is about moving forward. Seeing that I didn't refuse, my mom was overjoyed and even reminded me to dress up nicely before the meeting. My brother's efficiency is impressive. No sooner had we finished discussing it at the dinner table than his friend added me on social media. After accepting his friend request, he greeted me and chatted for a bit. Within just a few minutes, I found him quite interesting, neither overly enthusiastic nor awkwardly distant. In the end, he suggested meeting tomorrow at a cat cafe near my place. Wait, you just got back to the country, how do you know about this cafe? My surprise was justified because I'm actually the hidden owner of that cat cafe, and I usually spend my free time there. Your brother said it. Just a few words, yet so sincere and thoughtful, my fondness for him soared. Filled with anticipation, I finally set off to meet him, ignoring the several calls from Lucas. I didn't want him to ruin my good mood. When I didn't answer, he sent me messages instead. "Rain, where are you? I'll come find you now. Let's talk. Rain, if you see this, please reply. It really hurts that you're ignoring me." Before entering the cafe, I muted his notifications. As soon as I pushed the door open, I was drawn to the guy by the window. He was petting a cat and laughing happily. It was clear he genuinely loved it and was truly joyful. Suddenly, I remembered something my brother once said, "Don't worry about mistaking him, the most dazzling guy in the crowd is definitely him." I walked over to him, and he noticed me too. There was none of the awkwardness I'd feared earlier, everything felt completely natural. We clicked instantly, like old friends reuniting after years apart. He never let my words fall flat, responding to every line, and I got all his jokes. In short, we just vibed perfectly. We were petting the cat while chatting about everything under the sun, and before we knew it, it was dinner time. We changed locations and went to the restaurant next door. It already felt lucky that we could chat so well together, but I never expected we'd also share the same taste in food. Like me, he couldn't enjoy a meal without spicy flavors. What a rare find. Just as we were happily eating and chatting, a familiar voice from behind shattered the moment. Turning around, I saw Lucas, who looked noticeably more haggard after just a few days apart. "Rain, you're actually here. Do you have any idea how hard I've been looking for you?" Lucas looked accusatory, his face filled with exhaustion and displeasure. When he got closer and saw Liam sitting across from me, he immediately exploded. "Nice one, Rain. No wonder you've been ignoring my calls and messages, you were too busy dating another man. Rain, don't forget, we haven't broken up yet." Lucas didn't raise his voice, but it was enough to draw curious glances from the people nearby. How had I never noticed how dramatic Lucas could be? His caught-in-the-act expression made me laugh in frustration. "Lucas, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. The last time, on your birthday, you joked about breaking up, and I agreed. I'm single now, free to date whoever I please. It's none of your business, and you have no right to interfere." Lucas was furious. I didn't agree. As he spoke, he leaned in to kiss me in public, which disgusted me. I quickly raised my hand and slapped him. "Lucas, what the hell is wrong with you?" In the blink of an eye, as Lucas moved, Liam stepped in front of me, shielding me behind him. "Sir, Rain said she's already broken up with you. If you harass her again, I'll call the police." Lucas, on the verge of rage, grabbed Liam by the collar and pointed at his nose, yelling, "Who the hell are you? This is between me and my girlfriend. Stay out of it." No sooner had the harsh words left his mouth than Liam knocked him to the ground. Clutching his stomach, he looked utterly humiliated and disgraced, his eyes filled with resentment. "You just wait," he growled. Just when everyone thought he would back down, he quickly scrambled to his feet and recklessly charged at Liam, throwing himself into a fight. Caught off guard, Liam was caught in a dirty move, and soon the two were exchanging blows, neither willing to back down. The punches and kicks were wild and brutal, painful to watch, and no one dared to step in and break it up. I immediately dialed the police, then called Serena for good measure, telling her to keep her boyfriend in check and stop him from causing trouble. To my surprise, Serena responded coldly, "Lucas is not my boyfriend. From now on, don't call her about anything related to Lucas." Before I could say anything, she hung up first. I was completely baffled. What was going on? After arriving at the police station, both of them were severely reprimanded by the officers. Once the necessary procedures were completed, they were quickly released. As soon as we stepped out of the police station, Lucas followed me hesitantly, looking like he had something to say. I sighed helplessly. "Lucas, we've already broken up. Don't show up in front of me again." As soon as the words were spoken, Lucas couldn't wait to explain. "Rain, I was drunk that day. I didn't break up with you, and I certainly don't agree to breaking up," he said with a serious expression. "Rain, the person I've always liked is you. I never thought about getting back with Serena." "Is that so? You keep saying you like me, but you don't even have the courage to admit we're together." "Lucas, you don't like me at all. If you truly did, you wouldn't have made me date you in secret for 3 whole years. You had plenty of chances to tell everyone, but you chose to hide it." After saying this, I turned to leave, but Lucas stopped me. "Rain, I'm sorry." I wasn't moved by him and spoke coldly. "Stop bothering me, or I'll call the police right away." Liam had always kept a gentlemanly distance from us. Seeing Lucas block my way, he immediately came over, clearly intending to protect me. Lucas had no choice but to watch us leave. What I didn't expect was that Lucas unilaterally announced we were together. Early in the morning, before I even woke up, my brother dragged me out of bed. He seemed genuinely angry. "Rain, get up right now. What exactly is going on between you and Lucas?" I already had terrible morning grumpiness, and being suddenly yanked out of my blankets made me instantly furious. "What's going on? What could possibly be going on between us?" Seeing my impatience, my brother finally realized what he had done and quickly tried to appease me. "My dear sister, don't take it out on me. Mom and Dad are waiting for you downstairs. Hurry up and get ready." When I went downstairs, I was surprised to find Lucas there too. My parents sat on the sofa, staring at me with stern expressions. It looked just like an inquisition. "Rain, Lucas has confessed to us that you two have been together for a while now. Do you have anything to say?" "I have nothing to say. Everyone knows we're just like siblings. But he told us you two have been in a relationship for 3 years. Is this true or not?" My father looked at me sternly. "Mom, Dad, I'm your own daughter. How can you not believe me but trust an outsider instead? If he claims we were together for 3 years, then third brother, do you have any proof?" Lucas saw that I refused to admit it and even asked for evidence. He opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. We had indeed been in a relationship for 3 years, but during those 3 years, it was all kept secret. He was terrified of being discovered by others. For 3 years, he never posted a single photo of me or took a single picture of us together. When we were together, he wouldn't allow me to give him gifts, nor would he give me any. I couldn't understand it and even argued about it, but it was useless. He always had an excuse, and over time, I gradually got used to this kind of relationship. I met him when I was 23 and started dating him. Now I'm 26. The funny thing is, Lucas really can't produce a single piece of evidence. He froze for a moment, then suddenly thought of something. "Don't you have lots of photos of us together in your phone? Hurry up and show them to everyone." Yes, my phone did contain many photos of us together, but on the day I realized I had been reborn, I deleted everything related to Lucas. My family, who had been watching our confrontation, was already beginning to doubt everything Lucas said, especially my brother. "You claim you and my sister secretly dated for 3 years. It's understandable if others didn't know, but how come you can't produce even a single piece of evidence? Lucas, are you sure you and my sister were ever together? What kind of relationship is this, where you can't even prove it?" Seeing that none of my family trusted him, Lucas grew anxious. "Rain, hurry and explain to everyone, we really were together for 3 years. Rain, you said you loved me and wanted to be with me forever, have you forgotten all that?" Lucas's words sent chills down my spine. Bro, has Lucas had too much to drink? Why is he talking nonsense now? My brother, seeing that Lucas couldn't produce any evidence and kept slandering me, quickly sent him away. Now that everything was made clear, any further contact from him would be considered harassment. I immediately blocked his number, wanting nothing more to do with him. Lucas, unwilling to give up, came to my house a few times but was chased away by my parents. They couldn't understand how a seemingly normal person could suddenly develop mental issues. My brother, however, was sharp. He came to talk to me late at night, and knowing I couldn't fool him, I confessed everything. Hearing my story, he was heartbroken. "How could you be so silly, keeping such a big thing as dating a secret even from your brother?" Sigh, it's also my fault, I misjudged him. Had I known Lucas was such a jerk, I wouldn't have befriended him, let alone introduced you to him. He hugged me with a look of self-reproach. "Rain, remember this, any man who makes you feel wronged in a relationship isn't worth your love. From now on, don't compromise yourself for someone who doesn't deserve it, okay?" Touched, I nodded and said, "Okay." Later, I started running into Liam frequently at the cat cafe. On the days I was there, he would always show up. The cafe staff quickly noticed something was off and secretly gossiped about us behind our backs. Some even boldly came up to ask if we were dating. I immediately denied it, thinking Liam didn't come here because of me, he just liked cats, and the cafe's atmosphere was hard not to love. As for him showing up when I was there, it was probably just a coincidence. After all, if he really liked me and wanted to ask me out, he already had my contact info. A simple message would have sufficed, no need to come all the way here. Besides, every time he visited, he'd order a coffee and quietly work, rarely initiating conversations with me. I didn't read too much into it, just treated him like any other customer, until one day I couldn't ignore the way he was staring at me, openly, unabashedly, fearlessly. Even when I noticed, he didn't try to hide it. Instead, he just smiled at me. Later, he started actively striking up conversations with me, finding excuses to walk me home. Everyone knew he was pursuing me. It was only in hindsight that I realized how skilled he was. Slowly, day by day, he seeped into my life. By the time I became aware of it, I had already fallen for him. The day he confessed his feelings to me felt like a dream. He had invited all my close friends and family to witness the moment, even my parents were there to support him. He said he liked me and wanted me to be with him, while everyone around us cheered loudly, urging me to say yes. It was clear to everyone how much effort he had put into this grand confession and how deeply he cared for me. I couldn't help but recall the saying, "A good love story begins with a confession and a bouquet of flowers." Under the gaze of his loving eyes and with the encouragement of my friends beside me, I agreed to his confession. He excitedly pulled me into his embrace, and amidst everyone's teasing, only after receiving my permission did he gently kiss me. As the gathering ended, I thought I saw Lucas in the crowd, and it seemed like he was crying. Not a single ripple stirred in my heart as I silently bid him farewell in my mind. From now on, my life will no longer intersect with his in any way. I will walk hand in hand with my Liam, year after year.